Hello, everyone. So I'm going to start with the assumption that you know how to create a process map. And all that you maybe are struggling with is how to link a process map with another process. Okay. So you're saying to yourself, I've created a sub process. I'm not sure what to do. And so I'll show you how to link processes on Visio using Visio. And so that you have two separate pages and you want to connect them. The second thing I'm going to show you is how to check your process that is technically correct. All right, so let's dig in. I'm just going to share screen and show you a process that I've already started. And this is an e-commerce process looking at an e-commerce store. We have the customer swim lane and we have the IT swim lane, okay? Now for this process, I have created a create account, sub account. Password reset can also be a sub account, but I'm not going to be working with that. So I'm just going to create one sub account for the purpose of this class, okay? One sub process, I beg your pardon, for the purpose of this class. I said sub account, sub process. Now we want to link it, but let's first check that it is a technically correct process map, because there are times where you're finished creating your process map and there could just be some technicalities and you don't want that to happen. So if you come to your top ribbon, click on process. You would click the drop-down arrow. You go to rules to import your BPMN 2.0. You will get that notification to say that it's been successfully imported. Check your rules. Be sure that you have it ticked. Now you go and click diagram. Now it says that this diagram is complete and there are no issues. And that's fine. We then move forward. Now, if I wanted to link this sub-process, I can come and do this link, or I could create a new process from here. So if I create new, it would automatically create a new sheet for me. But now let's undo that. I could also come here and it's linked it already to the new sheet that I've created. Okay, that's what has happened. So it's actually linked it already to the new sheet that I've created. But if I didn't want to do that, there are other ways that you can create a sub process, okay? And one other way that you can create a sub process is simply come to the plus sign here and click it. And you would create not a sub process, you would create a new page. So what it's done is that it automatically created a new page because I came here and I said, once there's no link, you just do create new, and it automatically created that new account, it named it as the create account because that's what we're working on. Which really does save you some time, yes? But if you didn't want to and you wanted to do it yourself, then simply click the plus sign and you're good to go. So I'm going to delete that because I don't need that. That is my create account process. This is going to be my main process. So I'm going to just label that. Okay, now I'm going to come to create account because that is what I'm going to be working on for the second page. As usual, and if you don't know how to create a process map, so this might help. Pick up your swim lane or pool. For the purpose of this class, I'm just going to keep it at a pool because I'm just going to use, for a swim lane, because I'm just going to use one. What's the function that we're looking at? We're looking at the customer, because it's still a customer. And we would put a text to say create account. All right. The same way you would add a text box on Microsoft Word. I'm assuming that you do know how to use Microsoft Word. It's the same way you would add a sub process here. You can increase the size, you can underline it, you can change the color, just the things that you would do with Microsoft Word, you typically can do them there. Now let's continue. Now for this create account, we know that we need to do this right? It is triggered because I don't have, I need to know how to do that account. Okay, I need to be able to open up that account. So it could simply be that it's conditional. It could be that it's multiple. It could be any of the triggers that you choose. But for right now, I'm just going to go with none. Let's just leave it because the point really is to just link the two pages together. And then I go to my task, of course. And what do I do? Think about it. You enter your email, right? Remember verb now. So enter. All right, so you enter your email, you go through a validation. So part of that task is for you to validate your email. Once you have validated the email, there's another screen that would pop up for you, taking you to a page where you will find another gateway. And what's happening in this gateway is there's several things you have to do at this time. Now, there are different gateways that you typically have when you're creating a process map. This particular gateway, we're going to be looking at a parallel gateway. And what it is telling you is that there's several different processes, several different tasks that you have to do to move on to the next, okay? And so for this one, you can enter the validated email, okay? So you need to enter the same validated email. You will also have to enter a username. So we would say create username. All right. And we will create password. So this should automatically open up, but it's not happening. So I'm just going to do all of that because that process is going to extend. And here I would say create password. Okay. And that's for this process. Of course, we have to go through different routes. So you always need to connect them, please. Don't assume it just happens automatically, this connection. You have to connect every single process with your sequence. Once we've done this, we're going to close out this gateway because we started out with a gateway. So you just close it out. It's just good practice to close out your gateways. So that's a parallel gateway that we're choosing. A parallel gateway is the one with the plus sign. The exclusive gateway that says you can only choose one path, okay, is the X sign. And then there's another one, the inclusive gateway. And for an inclusive gateway, there's several different paths that you can choose. So you can go left, you can go right, you can jump, you can do all of these things with an inclusive gateway, as the name says. To move up from here, you're going to have to confirm your password. Okay? So that's what you need to do before you move forward. So confirm password. You need to understand that the process is all linked. So it's a process flow. It is flowing from one end to another. Put in your sequence flow, and then we're going to end this task. Okay? And that's end task. Again, very clearly written, end task. All right? And that's the process. Now, we already have this connected to the other process, but let's connect this endpoint to our original process. And the reason the main process page, the reason why we're connecting those pages is when you're presenting to your sponsor, you do have to flip between pages. All right, so you don't want to get stuck because you can't move forward. So just right click is what I'm doing right now. Right click, click on your right click, come to your sub address, browse, and choose your main process and click OK. And that's it. So you have linked this. You can see the linked sign. And if I come to my main process, it also shows me that it is connected. Now let's check the entire process again, just to be sure. Okay, so this is fine. Now let's go to presentation. When you go, that you click on your view to go to presentation, and you go to presentation mode. All right. And so what happens is you would welcome your sponsors and tell them, well, welcome, thank you very much for coming for this meeting. And what we're going to be doing is just presenting and taking a look at the process flow. Let me know if there's something that you want to add. We are in particular looking at our login process, how to access our dashboard. And once you're happy with this, then we can progress and keep moving. If there's something you want to edit, of course, I'm happy to go backwards and redo this process. So the first thing is that our customers get a link that takes them to our landing page. On the landing page, they have to take a decision as to if they are going to create an account for our new users or they're going to log into their account for our existing users. Once they've tried to log into the account, again, they may encounter an error, which in the case they will try again. They'll be prompted to try again. They would also be prompted to reset their password. So it's entirely up to them which pathway they choose. Otherwise, they could access their dashboard because it was successful. If they've done that, then of course the process ends. However, if they choose to try again, they will go back and enter their login credentials. And if it passes successfully, they may then access their dashboard and end the process. However, if they've tried this process repeatedly and they cannot move forward, they would be prompted to reset their password. They actually will have both options, to try again or to reset the password. But after trying several times, they may choose to reset their password. And when they've done that, they may then be able to log into their account and move forward. However, for our new users, they will need to create an account. And to create an account, they would enter their email, validate that email, and then they will be presented with another screen. On that screen, they would have to enter the validated email, create a username, create a password, and then they would exit the system. Once they've done this, they've clicked enter, everything is great. They would then need to confirm their password. Once they confirm their passwords, this will take them directly to the login screen where they then have to enter their username and their password to log in. And so that's the process that we have. All right, so I hope that I've successfully shown you how to create a process, how to create a page, a second page, and how to connect two pages together when you're creating your process map. All right.